Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Annabelle and I'm Dynadot's Marketing Ninja. I'm here today with Luke, our design master, who will be teaching us how to use our website builder's style editor tool, as well as sharing design tips and tricks with us. If you have any questions, please chat us in the questions section of the control panel at any time during the webinar, and Robin or Anne, our backstage coordinators, will assist you. Luke and I will also be holding a brief Q&A at the end of the webinar for website builder specific questions. Also, make sure to stay tuned through the end of the webinar because we will be giving out free .co domains courtesy of Newstar, and we will also have a contest for you to win a Dynadot t-shirt like the ones Luke and I are wearing, or a poster like the ones hanging up behind us. Now, without further ado, I'm going to hand over the floor to Luke so we can get started.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us in the webinar. Thank you, Annabelle, for the introduction. My name is Luke, and I'm the lead designer at Dynadot, as well as one of the main creators of Website Builder. I'm not here to simply go through the basics of our site builder with you, just so that you can go and create any website that doesn't reflect who you are. I'm here because I want to show you how to easily build your brand quickly and in a straightforward manner. Remember, you don't need to wait until the end of the webinar to ask any questions. Feel free to ask anytime. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to switch our screen, and what you should be seeing is our website. So the primary focus of this webinar is to talk about our style editor, how to make your site look a certain way. But I'm just going to show you how to quickly get into the builder from within our website. So you can come up here to the main tab, the main menu, and select websites. And you can go ahead and click prices. This is going to bring up our plans. So we have 3 plans. We have the free plan, a pro plan, and a business plan. Now, the free plan is going to offer you everything that you need to create a beautiful, compelling website. The only limitation is it's going to allow you to have up to 5 pages. So if you want any more pages than that, you're going to have to upgrade to the pro plan. The only other limitation that it has is it's going to have Dynadot branding in the footer. So if you'd like to remove that as well, you'd have to upgrade to the pro plan. If you do upgrade to the pro plan, you also receive some additional SEO tools and tool functionality as far as a code injector tool, as well as being able to, like I said before, customize the footer. If you upgrade to the business plan, it has all those features, plus you have seamless email integration. So let's say you're a small business and you'd like to add a few email accounts for your employees. The business account will allow you to do that very easily. But for this demonstration, we're just going to use the free plan. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. That's going to bring up the template select page. I'm going to go ahead and select compass. Alright, so that's going to throw us into the builder, and we're presented with one more screen just to confirm which plan you'd like to use. So go ahead and click basic. Alright, so here is our builder. Now, our builder consists of 3 main sections. Starting from the left, you have the main menu section, and this is going to be where you can publish your site, make it live to the world. You can add specific things to your site, whether it be text, images, video, social links, anything you'd like. The next section is going to be the design section, and this is going to be where you make your site look a specific way, in other words, a style editor. After that, you're going to see the pages. This is where you add, delete, and manage your pages of your site. After that, you're going to see the settings button. Okay, this is where you change general settings, SEO functionality, and things like that. The next thing you're going to see is the preview button. If you click this, it's going to give you a representation of what it's going to look like online without actually launching the site. So it's for your eyes only. We'll go back to the add tool. Okay, the next pane here is exactly what you saw before. Whatever you select here on the main menu is going to reflect on the second level here. Then finally you have the website itself. Now, our editor is what you see is what you get. So what you actually see in the builder is what it's going to look like once it's launched online, with the exception of these helpful pop-up tools as you hover over specific areas. Okay, so like I said before, this webinar is specifically geared towards our style editor, helping you figure out how you want your site to look. But I'm going to go over a few simple features on the builder portion itself. Now, the first thing people notice when they come to the site, specifically this template, is they see this large sprawling image. This is a header image. And the first thing I want to do is be able to change this. So if you notice, when I hover over with my mouse the header, anywhere in the header, you get this helpful pop-up here. And that gives you a few options. When you click on header design, you'll get a drop-down menu. You can change the image, you can jump right into the style options, or you can delete the image. I'm going to go ahead and just change the image. So you click there, and you select the image that you'd like to upload as your header image. We'll select this one. Okay, so our image has changed. That looks cool. The next option you have is the header size. What do you want it to look like? So if you click here, you see you're presented with 5 options. You can select basic, which essentially eliminates the header and just leaves a small sliver for the navigation and the logo. You have short, makes it a little bit taller, injects a couple lines of text. You have tall, a little bit bigger. Landing, which injects a button where you can direct to go anywhere, whether it's an internal page like an About Us, or you can send it to an external page like a Facebook or a Twitter account. And then you have the cover, which makes it for a nice splash page. The cool thing about the cover is you can have the cover fill out the entire screen and still have your content, or you can hide your content from the home page just simply by clicking Hide Content. Now, the content doesn't disappear on your other pages, just on the page that you're currently on. We'll go ahead and show content, and for this demonstration, we're just going to go ahead and use the landing page. Okay, now, I'm going to go ahead and show you quickly how to use some of these tools here. So, the add tools, it's pretty simple to use. You simply click on the item you want and drag it onto the site. Now, as I'm dragging it around the content area, you can see this blue line. This blue line represents where you're actually going to place the image, or where you're going to place the item once you release the mouse. So here it's going to create a new row. Here it's going to create a new column next to this body of text. We're going to go ahead and just create a new row. So I'm going to drop it here, and you can see it says right here. So it's created a new line of text. But we don't need that, so we can come over here and just delete that. It's going to ask you to confirm. Yes, we want to delete it. We have image, video, audio, social, all the way down to social integration. Now, I'm going to show you another cool feature. We have a gallery here. So I'm going to drag this in down here. Again, I'm going to create a new row. You can click Upload Image, select an image of your liking. Go ahead and upload another one. You can come over to Design. You can change the way the gallery looks. We're going to go ahead and enable gallery slide controls and save. And you can see we just quickly created an image gallery. Pretty cool. And again, you can move and edit these any way you'd like. Alright, now the next thing I want to talk about is if you look up at the top left corner, you see you've got 3 buttons. The first one is the page settings. This is going to jump you right into the page settings themselves, so you can adjust the title of the page and specific features of the page itself. You can cancel your changes. What this is going to do is revert your site back to its last save point. So any changes you've done up until this point can be gone, and it doesn't affect anything. You can also save the changes. So anytime you make any changes on your site, this save button will appear. We're going to go ahead and save our changes. Okay. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to jump right into the style editor, which is the main portion of our webinar. So you come over to the left tab here and you click on the design. Okay, so here you've got a whole bunch of options. And you can see as I highlight over these specific options, you can see that things start to highlight on the site builder itself. So for example, if I hover over the site title, you can see that compass in the top left corner is highlighted. This is basically just a helpful tool that tells you what you're going to be editing. So navigation, for example, I'm hovering over background. You can see that top bar is highlighted in blue. And that happens as I travel down this here. Alright, so we're going to start from the top. The first thing you're going to see is this under site is background. Now, by default, you're not going to be able to see any changes that you make here. You can adjust the color, you can adjust the opacity, but you're not going to see anything. You can even add an image. The reason you don't see anything initially is because by default we have this nice sprawling header background image, and this whole content area is separate from the background. What I mean by that is you can control it independently. So you can change this content background color, and it won't show the site background color. The way you can change that is you can actually adjust the site background color to show less opacity. So if you have a background image set, it will show through. But we'll touch base on that in just a moment. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is jumping into the header itself. Okay, so the header is this whole section right here. So where we uploaded this tree background, that's the header. So if you click on background here, you're presented with a color picker. All right. Now, by default, the opacity is set to nothing, to 0. If you bring this up, you can see it's getting darker. And that's because we have the color picker set to black. So this color is actually an overlay of the image. So you can see, you can adjust the color here and you can give it a specific look, or you can completely cover it all together. So if you want to have a solid color, you're totally able to do that as well. But I kind of like the image that we uploaded, so I'm going to bring that opacity back down. And maybe we want just a hint of blue. Alright, I think that looks okay. Now, to get rid of this pop-up menu, you simply just click out and you can move on to the next item. So the next one is the background position. So if you click this, you have 4 options. The first one is position. Now, what the position is going to do is allow you to change the position of the background image in relation to the browser window itself, or I'm sorry, to the header area itself. So by default, it's set to top left. But let's say I don't want to see the top of the image. I want to see the middle of the image. So you can position it into the center. So you click center, center, and boom, there's the middle of the picture. Okay. So moving on down, you can see you can adjust the size. So by default, it's set to cover. Now what cover is going to do is it's going to scale the image to the proper size of the header. All right. So if you don't want that, let's say you want to see the image in its entirety and you don't want it to be stretched. Well, you're going to click contain. Okay. Now you can see we have 3 images. And that's because we have the repeat set to repeat. So if you don't want that, you simply say no repeat. Now you can see we've got 1 image in the middle, and it kind of looks silly. So we're going to come back up to size, and we're going to make sure it's set to cover. Nice sprawling image. That looks a lot better. Another option you can do is, by default, we have it set to have the image scroll with the site. If you want to create a unique look, you might want to make it fixed. And what that will do is the image will by default become its largest size and also will be fixed to, I guess you could say, the back of the website. And it gives the appearance as though the site is scrolling over that background image. But we're just going to stick with scroll for now. Alright, again, I can click out to close that menu. Next I want to talk about the site title. So by default, we have it set to just simple text. So you can see this compass right here is just simple text, and you can click it to edit it all you'd like. And you can click the site title in the style editor to change the color, whatever you'd like. You can come down here to select a font. You simply click on the font, and you're presented with a whole bunch of options. All right. You can start clicking away and see what suits your look. And when you find one that you like, let's select Oswald, you simply click out and you move on to the next item. So the next one is the size. So how big do you want this text to be? I think smaller is better. You can adjust the weight. We'll go with light. You can adjust the style. You can transform it. If it's not uppercase, you can do so. You can force it by using this tool here. And you can adjust the letter spacing. Give it a cleaner look. Okay, that looks good. But let's say you don't want to use text. Let's say you have a logo, for example. You can simply hover over that text and click Add Logo. Select the logo that you like. Maybe it's your company logo, and then boom, there you go. You uploaded your logo. Okay, so once you've uploaded your logo, you can adjust the size of it by using this logo max height setting. Now, a good practice with logos, especially nowadays, is you want to upload a logo that is about 2 times the resolution of what your actually desired logo is going to be. So let's say you want it to be 100 pixels. You should upload a logo that's at least 200 pixels. The reason is many people nowadays use Retina displays, whether it's in their iPhone or their MacBook. So in order for your logo and images to look nice and crisp and clean, you want to make sure that the image you're using or uploading is twice the size of your desired output. So I think we'll shrink this up a little bit. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. All right, so I'm happy with that. We'll move on to the next item. Next thing is the navigation. So you can see when I hover over navigation background, it highlights that big bar at the top there. If I click, it allows you to adjust the color and opacity. So by default for this particular template, we have the opacity set to pretty low. But you can adjust that to whatever you like. So you can select a color that you like, and then you just come over to the opacity and you slide it all the way over to the right. But I think I want something a little bit more modest, so I'm going to bring it down to really low. Select a different color. You know what? Let's just keep it black. Keep it simple. Okay, moving on to the next item is the submenu background. Now, what this is going to do is you can't see it unless you've created a submenu. And the submenu is done in the Pages section. So you can create a submenu of an item, and this simply just gives you the ability to change the color of that drop-down menu. Okay, the next item is the padding. So you can adjust the padding of this top navigation area. So you can go really big if you want it dramatic, or really small. I think you want to be a little bit modest with this one. The next is the links, the navigation links themselves. So you can see as I hover over the links on the top right corner have become highlighted. So you can click here and you can make all sorts of changes. So we're going to go ahead and change the color first of all. So let's select a good base color. Okay. Again, with everything that you do, I think it's good to be pretty modest, conservative when making these changes. Come down here, we'll select a new font. Let's choose Oswald. And click out. You can adjust the size. You can go really big if you want it to be really dramatic. I think that's a little too big. Or you can go really small. I think we'll go right about 16 pixels. Looks pretty good. We're going to change the weight to light, kind of give it a clean look. Again, all the same features, all the same font functionality that you had before. You can adjust the letter spacing, add a little bit of drama. You can also underscore them if you wanted to. But we're just going to leave them as is. Alright, I'm satisfied with that. I'll click out. You can adjust the link active. What this is going to do is allow you to change the color of the link that the user is currently on. So currently I'm on home. I just changed home to white so you can see that that is clearly represented there. Okay, I'm going to click out. The next thing I want to talk about is the cover. Alright, so there's a few things you can do with this cover section. Let's say you didn't have this large sprawling background image. It was just white, for example. You might want to change this background, this cover background. You can add an image, or you can simply just change the color. Okay? But if you have that big background image, you probably don't want to do this. The next is the heading font. So you click here, you can do all the same text functionality that we had done before. So I'm going to select something that, a font that is in line with the theme that we're going for. So again, we're going to click Oswald. It's good practice to select maybe 2 fonts, maybe 3 tops for your entire website. All right, you don't want to go too crazy. It's always good, less is more when building your site. You can adjust the size, you can change the weight, keep it at light. Style, we'll change the letter spacing a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, and you can actually remove the header text if you wanted to. We'll click out. Now the subline. Same thing. Select the font that fits your theme. Select the weight. You can change anything you'd like here. And again, if you don't like it, you can actually remove it as well. We'll go ahead and keep it. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about is the button. So here you can adjust the button settings, the button text settings, what color you'd like it to be, what font. Again, so let's go ahead and let's use Open Sans. And you can actually choose to remove the button if you'd like as well. Alright, let's go ahead and change the weight. Okay. Alright, now button color. It is exactly what it says it is. It allows you to change the color of your button. And finally, the button style. Currently set to solid, but let's change it to outline. I think that looks pretty cool. Okay, moving on to the content area. So the content area is anything below that header area. And you can see that when I hover over certain elements, whether it's text or links, it's going to show what you're going to be changing. So remember I was talking about with the background earlier, the site background? Well, this is the content background. If I click here, you can see that I can adjust the background. Now, I can also adjust the opacity. Now, you can see once I adjust this to 0, it's still showing red. The reason it's still showing red is because if we go back up to the site background, you can see that the site background is set to red. So because I've changed the content area opacity to 0, now you can see everything that's done in the site background, including adding an image. Alright, but let's go back to the content area. Alright, so we don't want to show the site background, we're going to show the content background. So we're going to change the opacity to solid. We're going to select the base color. Now for this, I would go white or dark. And if you choose to do a color, make sure you do it real modest. Alright, so I've chosen this blue color. I'm going to just bring the slider over a little bit to the right. Just a hint, a real small hint of blue. Alright, I'm happy with that, so I can click out. Next I want to talk about the text. This is the body text, the main chunk of your site. So if you click here, you're presented with the same text options as you were before. So as you can see, if I click any of these, it's going to reflect on the site itself. I'm going to select Open Sans. So I've been focusing on Oswald and Open Sans as my 2 main fonts for this. Click out. Change your size, go really big, really dramatic if you'd like. Or you can bring it down to really small. I would stay anywhere between 12 and 14, depends on your application. Change the weight, do all sorts of stuff. Spacing, you can adjust the line height. This is how the space between each line is. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the links. So you can actually change the link color here. So this Learn More button, or these Learn More links, you can, if you click here, you can see that you can adjust the way those look. Just leave them about the same for now. Link hover, what it looks like when the user hovers over the link, so what color they're going to be. And then finally we come to the header elements. So these these header elements, you can change any text you like to be a header. And that's done when you click on the text and edit the text. But this is just going to allow you to change the style of the text. So if you click here, again, you're presented with the same pop-up. Change the font, whatever you like. We'll use Open Sans. All right. So you click out, change the size. As you can see, this is only adjusting the header 1 text. So this is header 1. These 3 are actually using header 3. And again, you can change that anytime you like simply by clicking and editing the text. Alright, so let's go ahead and... Alright, that looks good. Let's say you want uppercase. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so again, I've come down to header 3. You can see that those 3 items have been highlighted. You can select it. Do all those same changes that you did. Use Open Sans. All right. Okay. Finally, moving on to padding. One last thing. Padding. You can actually adjust the padding of the content area. So when I adjust this slider, you can see that the content area in relation to the header is increased or decreased. And this also happens between the relation of the content area and the footer. So as I increase it, it gets closer to the footer. So we'll keep it. I like negative space, so let's keep it at 100. Finally, coming on to the footer. Now, if you're using the free plan, unfortunately, you can't make any changes to the footer area. But if you use the free plan, you'll be able to change the background color, the text, the border, and things of that nature. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and save my changes, and that about does it for the style editor.
Awesome, thanks Luke. Okay, now that you guys have learned a bit more about how to use our style editor, we have a contest to test your knowledge and win some prizes. So the rules of the contest are, there will be 2 questions. If you answer one question right, you'll get a Dynadot shirt, like the ones Luke and I are wearing, and if you answer both the questions right, you'll win a Dynadot shirt and a Dynadot poster. So in your email to us, make sure you send your answers to events@dynadot.com. Include DIY contest in the subject line and your answers in the body of the email. We will be giving out prizes to the first 10 people who email us with the correct answers, so try and answer them as soon as possible. So the questions. Number 1, what are the 5 different header sizes in Website Builder? And number 2, how can you change the footer of your website? Okay guys, make sure you get these down. Okay, so once again, please send your answers to events@dynadot.com, subject line DIY-contest, body your answers, and then also make sure that your answers are written in the order shown on the slide. And then one more time, the contest questions are, number 1, what are the 5 different header sizes in Website Builder? And number 2, how can you change the footer of your website? Alright, so we'd like to give a special thanks to Newstar for sponsoring this event. As you mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, you will all be sent a free .co domain courtesy of Newstar. If you didn't know, .co is the hottest domain extension since .com was launched. This domain is excellent for both individuals and businesses as it is recognizable, credible, and has the same reach as .com. Once you register your free .co, you can link it to your website builder free of charge and create your own unique place on the internet. Okay, so now Luke and I will be taking website builder specific questions for the next 5 minutes. So please chat them through the question section of your control panel and we'll read them out loud and answer them. So let's see if we have any. So
the question was, can you set up the email address at your domain? Yes, you certainly can. If you use the business plan, you can actually set up as many email addresses as you'd like very easily right from within the Site Builder control panel. So it'll be very simple.
Alrighty, let's see if we have another one here. So,
alright, so one question that we get a lot is how do we differ from other website builders, like Weebly, for example. We are a small company, so we are able to offer more one-on-one support than other website builders would be able to do. Second of all, in regards to a business plan, our email integration is far simpler than what they have. So you can simply add and remove email accounts right from within the builder itself. You don't have to use any sort of third-party software if you don't want to. But if you like to use Gmail, you certainly could, or something to that effect.
Okay, next question. How is website security against injections and other malware?
Well, we have some pretty robust server security. Um, I'm not the server guy specifically, but we've never had a site hacked or anything to that nature.
Okay, great. Next question. Can we back up our site? Can we back it up with HTML if we, um, yeah, so can we back up our site?
So currently we don't have any exporting functionality, but like I said, we've never lost a site content before, and we've had the builder for several years now. So our site security is sound, and our storage reliability is also very sound.
Okay, and then how do we add a button link to our social icons?
Okay, so within the builder itself, you have the ability to drag in a social icons tool, and what you can do with this is you can select various social sites that you'd like to link to, and you paste in the URL where you'd like to direct it to, and that button will automatically become a link.
Okay, and then how good is your support? What kind of help do you offer?
Our support is very strong. Even if you're using the free builder itself, you can call or chat us at any time, and we will give you full support. So we don't have any limitations on that.
Excellent. And do we have video tutorials?
Well, this webinar will be uploaded, and yes, we do have video tutorials, and we're planning on adding many more in the future.
Okay, and then how do we add a button link to our Instagram? So I think that goes back to the social icon question.
Oh, okay. So, are you asking if you add Instagram itself, how do you add a button?
Well, we do have a social icon feature, and there is Instagram there, so you would just simply take the link from your Instagram account and insert that into the social icon,
Right.
and then it would be direct. Okay, next question. Does the created website adjust for optimal viewing on smaller screens?
Yeah, this is actually a really good question. All of our templates are 100% responsive. So when you adjust the browser window on your site, you can see that everything scales and collapses properly. Um, uh, don't try it on the builder itself. Hit the preview button or actually launch your site and adjust the browser window, and you can easily see your site being 100% responsive. We even have a sandwich pop-out menu once you view it on your mobile device. So yes, absolutely 100% responsive.
Excellent. And then what about retail sites?
Currently we're working on shopping cart functionality, but we don't have it yet. We're hoping that this year we will have that functionality. But yes, we are definitely working on it.
All right, next question. Does the header remain the same throughout all 5 pages of your website?
So the header area you can actually control independently, so you can you can upload various images to the header itself. So no, you can make them unique per page. So, and you can also change the size. We have those various sizes that you can select, and so you can have a landing page on the home page, and then on the About Us page, you can use a small header, for example. And each one can use a different image, so it's very dynamic.
All right. And then what do the green stars mean in the website builder?
So the green stars represent a feature that is only available if you were using a Pro or Business plan. So if you were to upgrade to Pro or Business, then those features would become available.
Okay, and then can two people access the edit function from different laptops?
Yeah, you certainly can do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then what is footer script and header script?
So if you wanted to, and I recommend that you do, uh, if you wanted to use Google Analytics, for example, you can do so by pasting that Google code into the header area. So it allows you to integrate various tools that you might want to use with your website.
All right, and then if anybody else has any, oh, here we go, a couple more questions. So would you consider giving all functionality on the free plan? But we can't launch it unless we upgrade.
Oh no, you can launch your site. We have if you'd like to use the free plan through us and have a website with 5 pages, you can do so without spending a dime with us.
Mm-hmm.
So you're totally free to do that.
Okay, so when do you plan on launching the website builder, particular website manager search area?
Website manager search area. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that question.
Could you please rephrase that question for us? We'll come back to you. And then, yes, so for the questions, event@dynadot.com is the correct email. And then in the subject line, please just add in DIY contest. That's perfect. All right.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, we're actually redesigning our user control panel as we speak, so it will have that functionality.
Oh, yeah. But would you be able to add your logo and not change the footer on the free site? So yes, on the free site, if you don't upgrade, you would have that powered by Dynadot material at the bottom. And if you upgrade, you can change that to whatever you want it to be. So next question is, my site won't come up in a Google search. How do I fix that?
So Google indexes the sites, and it won't show up immediately. And also, uh, in order to show you, if it depends on if you're doing a specific search or if you're actually looking for your domain specifically, but if you're doing a general search, in order to show up on those top results, you have to have good SEO practices. Um, so including having good keywords and things of that nature. But even still, your site won't show up on Google for a little while once you launch it.
All right, next question. If you build many websites, how can you manage them? So in the account, when you create a site, there will be a site builder and the number, but you actually have the option to edit that and create any titles you want. So however your organizational strategies work, you can change the titles and then organize them that way. All right, so next question. Does the business plan offer the option of purchasing a SSL certificate?
You can certainly adhere an SSL to any website that you create.
All right. All right, guys. So, if there are any more questions, oh, here we go. One more. Are the email accounts unlimited emails?
Yes, you can create as many email accounts as you'd like if you're using the business plan.
Okay. How many emails can I receive?
There are no limitations.
Okay, guys, well, we're gonna wrap up the Q&A. If you have any additional questions, please email events@dynadot.com and we will get back to you as soon as possible. All right, so that concludes our DIY Dynadot webinar. Thanks again, everyone, and we hope to see you next time.